Ooh, I rolled right over to you. Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
board games
and
board gamey things.
Exactly. We are back again with another pumped up Kickstarter. And today's pumped up Kickstarter is called The Presents. And the Presents is a prototype because it's Nike on the back. So just want to throw that out there. All components, even some of the rules, it's all in prototype form for this, so just keep that in mind. This game is from Purple Lantern Games, who very kindly sponsored this video, so thank you to Purple Lantern Games. And as per usual with our preview videos, we are going to give you a little overview of the game, then we're going to jump into a discussion talking about the game a little bit to help you see whether or not this is a game for you. Okay? Make sense? Indeed. All right, so without further ado, let's jump into the overview.
You do?
I do. We're going to jump into the overview and we will BRB. The Presents is a game that explores the encounter between a restless spirit and the unwary visitors that disturb its domain. One player plays the role of the spirit and is given a hidden script that decides whether it intends to aid the visitors or to punish them for their intrusion. The other players play as the visitors, trapped without a way out. The game is played during the night of an unfortunate visit, with the visitors desperately trying to uncover the terrible secrets of the spirit's past. They move throughout the house, gathering knowledge that will help them understand enough to release the spirit before it's too late. They need to act fast, as the restless and unpredictable spirit grows in power with each passing hour, until there is no escape, and even well-meaning spirits have a limited patience. Okay, we're back and the game is there. Just like it always is.
Magic.
Video magic. Okay, so The Presents is a semi-cooperative game where one person is playing as the spirit and everybody else is playing as visitors. Mm-hmm. And essentially, the story is the visitors stumble upon this house, and there is a spirit inside, and the visitors have an objective, which is to discover the 4 secrets of this house. Well, the spirit has its own objectives. So at the beginning of the game, the spirit is going to kind of randomly select kind of like a story card or an outcome that they are working towards. Mm-hmm. Now, that could be that they win with everybody else, but it might not be. You might win if everybody dies. So all of the visitors don't know whether or not the spirit is on their side or not on their side. And there is even a possibility that if the spirit's kind of motive or goal is revealed, it might change. Mm-hmm. Or if it's revealed, the game might end immediately, or something else might happen. So this is a scenario-based game.
Yep.
So there are a variety of scenarios that you're going to be able to play at varying degrees of difficulty. In the prototype version, we only had like 3 scenarios, one of which is just like an introduction to the game. One is a little bit easier and one is a little bit harder. So
And I want to caveat that with, I think the intention of this game is to be difficult.
Yes.
I think for the visitors, mm-hmm. I think it is meant to be a challenge for the visitors to figure this out and do what they need to do.
Exactly. So the location of the game, like I mentioned before, is in this like mansion, this house. And the visitors are kind of exploring it from room to room, trying to uncover different clues. Mm-hmm. And when they do that, there are a few different kinds of clues, but they are essentially fulfilling whatever a clue says, or gaining a clue card. And the clue card is kind of like an action type of card. So all of the visitors have their own personal actions, but they can also gather clue cards, which give them other actions. The clue cards are really important because that is how the visitors are going to uncover the secrets of the home.
And there is like this mechanism where the presence is in the house and you can somewhat interact and...
Yep. Exactly. So that's kind of how the visitors work, and they're trying to uncover their secrets. The visitors themselves are going to get 3 main actions that they can do on their own turn, and then there's a bunch of quick actions, but the actions are things like move, or play a card, or investigate a clue. Maybe you need to light your candle, because dark and light is a really big thing in this game. So, as an example, the presence, because it's a spirit, it's a freaking ghost... Ghosts like the dark. I don't know if you knew that. Did you know that?
Do they?
They do. They prefer it. And so if there's light in a room, the presence's abilities are limited a little. Like they have to use more of their energy, essentially, in order to do an action in that space. So it's kind of important for the visitors to keep their candles lit, but they might go out and then there's ways to relight them. The presence character plays a little bit differently, and based on the scenario, it's going to kind of give you a story and all of that things, and kind of tell you what presence you're going to be playing and how many presence die are going to be on the board and all this stuff. So the presence player has their own cards in hand. And on their turn, they are manipulating their die on the board. And the die on the board that are in the room represent how much presence the spirit has in each of those spaces. And that is how they play cards, because the cards cost a certain amount of presence sometimes. So they'll play those cards out. A lot of them are affecting the visitors. So it might be like, well, you need to get rid of some of your cards. Or you might whatever. Or, hey, I'm going to help you out, and I'm going to help you relight your candle, or something like that. And it's really important for the presence not to give away if their objective is to go against the visitors. Like the spirit wants the visitors to think like, hey, I'm on your side.
I'm a friendly presence around here.
Friendly ghost.
And maybe they are.
Name's Caspa.
And maybe they are.
Maybe they are.
But you never know.
You never
Game
know.
always keeps you questioning.
Exactly. There is a timer mechanic in this game where the time is going to go up over every round. And on the round tracker, there is like a hope marker and a despair marker. Those signify essentially what the presence's outcome might be. If the time marker ever reaches one of those tokens, and it is the token or the objective that the presence has selected, they have to reveal their card. Once they reveal their card, it could be like, hey, you've won, or it could be like, hey, you've immediately lost, or it could give you some other kind of outcome that you're now going for. So depending on which objective you have, you either want it to be revealed or you don't want it to be revealed, because you might have a different win condition.
Correct.
So there's a variety of different visitor players that you can play as. There's like a professor and a priest.
They have somewhat variable player powers.
Exactly. They have variable player powers. They all come with their own set of cards. So it might be something to consider while playing who you're mixing and matching. Because you might want somebody that is strong and somebody that's fast.
And at 2-player, the obviously one person has to be the spirit, the presence. The other person plays as 2 visitors.
Exactly, yes. So you can play it at 2 players, but one person is doing a little bit more management, visitor management.
Which isn't dissimilar to a lot of games like this in a 2-player variant.
Exactly. The map also has different like room abilities that you can trigger, and there's just a bunch of there's doors that are locked and you have to find keys in order to unlock them. There's different types of cards in the game, like fear cards that are going to increase your visitor's fear, and if they have full fear, then they're lost. There's also like item cards, so the spirit will have like certain items that they're very attached to, perhaps a diamond ring. Perhaps something else that kind of get mixed into the clues, which are going to help the investigators as they are, or the visitors as they are trying to figure out
what
these
the mystery
secrets.
is. Yeah,
exactly. That's what it is. Yeah.
There's also items and that sort of thing that only can be triggered in certain rooms. So you might need to like get down to the basement, but the basement is locked. So you have to figure out how to get to the basement to perhaps use this card. That's a really good benefit. Like there's a lot of puzzling.
Yes.
A lot of puzzling.
A lot of puzzling. And it is like, there is kind of like a set timer. So it's not like you have an endless amount of time to do it, because as the rounds tick up, you're getting closer and closer to the spirit revealing their objective and you potentially winning or losing.
Correct.
So that is kind of like, in general, how the game plays. It's obviously a very like haunting, spooky season kind of theme with like the spirit, and it's very dark a little bit eerie in terms of like
it's oozing.
setting.
It's oozing with this theme.
Yes,
it's oozing with that spirit, creepy house, creepy vibes. Theme.
Candles, like olden, set in kind of like the olden times.
Almost. It's not Lovecraftian, but think of Lovecraftian.
Like it's very kind of adjacent to that game, if that's something that you're kind of into. So speaking of that, who is this game for?
I think this game is for anyone that enjoys the theme. If you're not connecting with the theme, probably not one for you.
Yeah.
This is definitely one that if you're into this is something you should check out. If not, steer clear.
Yes.
It's also for, in my opinion, people that really like deduction and puzzliness.
Yes.
And also like kind of semi-co-op or competitive. Like,
it's
I don't know
kind
how
of
to
the
like
unknown.
The terminology here, but if you like not knowing how things are going to go, definitely worth checking out.
Exactly. I would say that if you enjoy games with a challenge, that's another thing. And so kind of like on the flip side of that, of who this might not be for, if any of those things sound like, I don't really know about it. If you don't like games with a story, because there are moments in the game, it'll come with a scenario book where you are, exactly, stopping and reading maybe a piece of a story, or you're kind of trying to get immersed. It is a bit more of an immersive experience.
Yeah.
You need to be able to work together because you only get 3 actions, and sometimes those actions are limited based on what you have in your hand.
And things interact that way. Like you might move a visitor that lets someone follow. Like there's a lot of interaction between the visitors.
Exactly.
Sure.
If you don't like games where you might end up like, if you're the presence character as an example, if you don't like lying, you might have to lie in this game. I know that's a thing for some people.
Sure.
And then once again, the theme. Now, the like scenarios that we've played, there was, there's nothing like majorly gory or bloody.
No.
It's just darker.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, it's a horror-themed board game. If you don't like ghosts and that sort of thing, then not.
If you are afraid of
I think that goes without saying, given that the game is called The Presence.
Exactly. So that is a little bit more about The Presence. As always, we definitely recommend that you check out some other reviews, you check out previews, playthroughs, anything that you can to determine whether or not this might be a good game for you.
I just want to quickly say the artwork in this game is incredible. It's beautiful looking. The board's beautiful. The player characters look incredible. Just want to shout that out.
So I think that's everything that we have for you all today. Now, if you're interested in The Presence, all of the information is going to be linked for you below. Make sure that you go and check it out if it sounds like something that you are so interested in. But that is everything that we have for you today. Now, if you're interested in buying board games, where do people get this one again?
Kickstarter.
That's exactly Kickstarter. We just said
it
mere moments ago. But other board games, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is
the Boardroom Game Cafe.
Oh, heck yeah, it is. Do you like snacks?
I do.
Perfect. Where do people get snacks?
MunchPak.
Love it. And if you like what you see,
please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
Later days.